Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's our pleasure to welcome you to the Map the Future conference, powered by Map My India. This session will be anchored by Rohan Verma, Chief Technology Officer, Map My India. We have many exciting developments over the next 90 minutes. A brief introduction to Rohan. Rohan is an electrical engineer from Stanford and an MBA from London Business School. But he started young in life. When he was 19, in 2004, he built India's first interactive mapping portal. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Rohan Verma onto the stage to anchor this session.
Good morning, and thank you everybody for joining us today. We don't believe this is a historic moment. We believe this is a geographic milestone in the journey of India and Map My India. So thank you for joining us in person at this wonderful venue, the Kingdom of Dreams, as well as for watching us live from wherever you are around the world. The world. At Map My India, personally speaking, I grew up thinking about the real world, both the bits as well as the atoms, the digital part of the real world. My parents had moved back from India, to India, to do something for their country after 12 years in the US. And the big idea and the big vision they had was if someday 80% of all data could have a location element to it. They believed that, and nobody else believed that back in the early 90s. But they had the conviction that this will come true, and they made it their mission to build India's digital map. As you saw in the video before I came on stage, maps are central. Maps are the most powerful aspects of our lives and success. We tend to think of maps as utilitarian, but actually the concept of map goes beyond what we are normally used to thinking. And because we've spent 25 years out of the 31 years that I've been alive, thinking about maps, seeing maps, observing maps, we understand deeply the potential of map to make the world better. The history of Map My India is that India did not have a digital map before the early 90s. The last time a map was made for India was when the British had surveyed the country. And we all know why they built the map of India: to divide and conquer, to rule. Why the map of the US has straight lines dividing states, arbitrarily dividing rivers, arbitrarily dividing houses. Again, it was to rule. So we've grown up with this deep sense of confusion as to what a map should do. I'm just going to get my clicker. It's right here. Good. So that I can run it. We've always thought about what the potential of a digital map can do. We all know it's powerful, but we all know it can be used for bad as well, just like any other technology. And so we made it Map My India's mission to make our world better through maps and location technologies, where we believe we are the experts, and the outcome of our innovation, our technology, our entrepreneurship, our passion, should be a world that is better for our children and for everyone. What's our approach at Map My India? And this has been deeply inculcated into us from the founders of Map My India, Mr. Rakesh and Mrs. Rashmi Verma. It has always been to create the most advanced, accurate, and unparalleled map data for India, and then Now that we have made the world information rich and we have mapped the real world, we use this as a base to build powerful location intelligent offerings, both for consumers and for enterprises. And there are really 4 areas of innovation that we've picked to focus on the application of maps and location technologies. They're simply this. We first want to build an advanced map. A map so powerful, so advanced, that it can power any application, that it can serve as the underlying data, that it can be the underlying replica of the real world. It can power self-driving cars. And I'll tell you what our take on self-driving cars, this hyped technology, is in India. It can power smart cities, which India needs desperately. It can power smart buildings, smart businesses, and it can make the lives of every consumer better. Above this core of advanced maps that we survey professionally, create professionally, augment with technology, compile, and publish to the real world, we offer 3 sets of technologies or products or platforms. The first is software as a service for enterprises. This is really taking the map and making it usable for enterprises. And you'll hear us later today talk about certain partnerships where businesses and companies serving businesses are using our software as a service, location-based SaaS. The second is IoT devices. This world is getting connected. I don't need to be the first person to tell you that. But I think the deep insight we've had is when you connect the world virtually, it's important that you connect the world really and truly. And that comes when you can location tag anything, any object, any person, any place. And if you can sense the real world, monitor the real world, manage the real world, sitting from wherever you are, you have the power of the map sitting in the center and all the devices around you. And the last is you and me and everybody, all 125 plus crore Indians. How can we benefit from the map? And that really root is apps, because we're all used to using apps in some way or the other, either typing or touching the app, using gestures, speaking to it. Apps are getting everywhere. So that's the MapMyIndia map of what we do. Before I skip further, a few months ago, we decided to do a TV campaign. We decided to tell the story of MapMyIndia, the journey of MapMyIndia, to explain what we do, because we really felt misunderstood. People boxed us in as a MapMyIndia.com internet portal. People boxed us in as a portable GPS navigation device that sits on top of your car. People even thought of writing us off because there's a big giant preloaded on many phones. So we thought of telling the story of what MapMyIndia has been doing, what MapMyIndia stands for, and where MapMyIndia and India is going. So I'd love for the audience to see the video of our TV ads.
We watch India from far and close. We map India's every door. If you have an address, we show you the way. Now any address in India is just a click away. Happiness is when your business gets smarter. Satisfaction is when happiness is delivered. We smart up every move of the nation, and for everything behind a smarter India. MapMyIndia, not just roads, we take you to doors. We watch India from far and close. We map India's every door. If you have an address, we show you the way. Now any address in India is just a click away. Happiness is when your business gets smarter. Satisfaction is when happiness is delivered. We smart up every move of the nation, and for everything behind a smarter India. Map My India, not just roads. We take you to doors.
I don't know if many of you got a chance to see our TV ads in both Hindi and English on the TV channels last month. If you don't mind a show of hands if you did see it, I'll do a quick straw poll on the effectiveness of our campaign. Okay, so yeah, about 50% of the audience, not bad. I think we still have some work to do. So we're obviously only 1% of the way done in our journey at Map My India. And so let me tell you the journey of our map. How from the past to the present to where we are going with building India's most unparalleled map data. And dare I say, as India has proven time and time again, when India innovates, it leads the world. And I want to make this assertion that today the things that you will see and hear, this culmination of 25 years of work that we've been doing, the 750 plus Map My India folks that they've been doing, will show you that Map My India and India is leading the world in the mapping industry. So where did we start from? When Map My India was born in the early 90s, there was just cartography, there was just paper maps. And we were the first to pioneer digital mapping in India. And the enterprise terminology for this is GIS, Geographic Information Systems. In about 2004 to 2007, and slightly beyond, as we started to take the benefits of digital maps for businesses who wanted to use it for planning and analytics and decision making, towards consumers and professionals who needed navigation to make their journeys more seamless, to not have to roll down the window and ask for directions. And you remember that time when everybody used to say GPS, gully positioning system, or hey, why do I need a map? There's a panwala. Well, it's not just robots which are taking away people's jobs with AI. It's also GPS, which has focused panwalas on their core competency of selling pans. So we started to launch 3D navigation maps on the web, on mobile, and in car. Now, a few years ago, we took this conscious call that we want to build a map so advanced that it can power self-driving cars in a country like India, which does not have road infrastructure, which is limited in lane markers. We said we'll take this challenge head-on and build a map so advanced that it can define everything on the road and guide a car which is blind, no driver to guide it, guide a car autonomously using the power of the map, the memory, to drive. And so the first part of our work in this is what we unfurled a year and a half ago. We called it Real View. It was a big idea to represent the world in full reality. And the first aspect of that was 360-degree panoramic outdoor maps, whereby we could capture the maps or the world in 360-degree panorama, completely geo-referenced, precise, accurate, and to be able to extract information from that about the road's curvature, road slope, what kind of potholes are there, so on and so forth. The other piece we've been working on simultaneously, which is this idea of how do you build a map that is live? Because if you want to really model the real world, the world is changing, as the video showed you before, and we need to capture those changes. So around 2011, we launched tracking and telematics solutions, and MapMyIndia's cloud services have been up since 2004 with mapmyindia.com. We've had APIs, which many different tracking service providers have used for many years. But in 2011, we decided to give our own strong push with launching our own GPS tracking solutions, telematics solutions. which could serve as professional sensors and probes, which would feed back data as to what is the speed and congestion on the roads, helping us model traffic live. With the help of these types of traffic conditions and panoramic outdoor maps, we started our work on building advanced driving assistance system, high-definition maps. And this work is going on right now as we speak. We're mapping in precision and high frequency the slope and curvature of the roads, each lane. So even if India does not have lane markers, we can create virtual lanes which can guide a car to stay in a lane. And we all know a lot of our traffic problems would get solved if people just stayed in a lane. So hopefully the map will guide people and guide vehicles to stay in the lane in the future. But we believe that to get to this idea of a digital map twin, what we call real view, a digital map twin of the real world, there are a few more steps along the way. And today we want to tell you all about it. That's this idea of 360-degree panoramic indoor maps. And today we'll show you in the experience zone outside and also in certain videos and experiences here, how we are mapping the indoors in 360-degree. Because if you think about it, 90% of the world's GDP is spent indoors. 90% of our time is spent indoors. But the vast outdoors are mapped, yet the vast indoors are not mapped. We want to take on that challenge head on. And we believe businesses, governments, critical infrastructure, parking lots, malls, hospitals, hotels, airports will all benefit from 360-degree panoramic indoor maps. And then we want to start scanning the world through 3D laser maps. So as opposed to cameras, which can see in RGB, red, green, blue pixels, lasers bounce off any object. It literally scans and gives you the fourth element, which is depth. So an RGBD is nothing but red, green, blue pixel and depth, which gives you a point cloud. So you can start visualizing the same way our eyes see and have a vague perception about depth. If we had a laser, we could know exactly how far an object is from where we are. We want to get into 3D laser maps, and we'll show you some of that. But the world is not static the way I told you. And we, as human beings, definitely see the world as it changes, as we change our perspective. That's what we call an advanced video map. Actually, you don't realize it, but every day, every moment, this is what we are doing. We are processing the advanced video of the real world around us, creating a map in our brain, and essentially viewing and perceiving and understanding and acting in the real view. That's the big idea that we have today. And that's what we're excited to share. That where maps are going in the future is we have to build a digital map twin. We have to build a bridge between the physical and digital world. We have to model the outdoor, the indoor, in 360-degree, in 3D, from any perspective, be it from the ground, be it from the skies, be it on a train, be it while hiking. And we have to augment this digital snapshot live, continuously. And if we do that, we will build a real view digital map twin. I don't know if I confused you, excited you, or just wanted you to figure out that you wanted more. So why don't we show you what our vision is for a world where this digital map twin shall exist. I hope that gave you a sense of how the world could look and how we would interact with this world if we had a digital map twin, what we call real view. Okay, I want to tell you this in even more detail, so I want to invite on stage our VP for Product and Technology, Rishan Kalra. Rishan?
Thanks, Rohan. The digital world twin, the real world replica. Doesn't that sound beautiful? Just look at it. It's just gorgeous. It allows us to do so many real world things. It allows us to do so much. There's so many APIs around it, so much to be done. But why am I here? The idea is once the real world data comes in, once the real world digital twin is there, we don't want it to be static. We want it to be dynamic. We want it to fuse it with real-world data from real-world sensors and then make it continuously updated, adapting to newer changes in the society and keep it up to date at all point of times. So in this part, what I'm going to tell you is how we plan to use our IoT platform, InTouch, and which is actually a platform which can talk to multiple sensors over multiple technologies, but keeping one thing in common, having a spatial, that is a location element common to all this data, and then fuse this data back into the real world twin to keep it more updated. Now, how do we do it? I plan to use all of you guys here. You know how? I plan to plug you in and make you into a matrix. No, it's not that crazy. It's very simple. How we plan to do it is, we have this beautiful app called OneMap. It's HeyMap assisted one app, and the other app is called NaviMaps. These two beautiful apps actually allow you to report real-time incidences. For example, you have a traffic problem, you quickly report onto it. You have an environment problem, you report onto it. You have a civic problem, your lights are not working on the street light, you report onto it. And real-time, all this data, boom, goes onto the real-world twin and keeps us updated as and when. Now, just imagine the spatial data and this real-world data, when it combines together, governments, businesses, everyone, so much can be done around it. For example, you can actually make a computer-aided dispatch solution and actually mitigate a risk once you immediately come to know there has been a traffic incident. Now, all of you, when you use both apps, what we like to call is the civic sensors. Civic sensors, according to us, I think is really going to make a difference. It's really going to empower the citizens, because as citizens, even I feel like improving the life conditions of around me, and I actually want to make the world a better place to live in. So this is what the idea is, if you see the slide behind me, the civic sensors, and they're communicating in real time to the InTouch platform. Now, by doing this, by using the InTouch Stack APIs, we really think that governments, businesses, everyone can really benefit from it and really help make smarter cities and better cities. With this, I also come to my second part, which is actually driving. Driving is like the best part, right? But it's still like the most unsafest of all the transport modes. Now, all this really makes us strive to deliver something much safer for cars and drivers, which can actually help them make more safer, more smarter, and which can help them enable and adapt to the local situations. Now with this, we have like a very brilliant offering, which we call as ADAS. Now ADAS in some form or the other, you guys are already using in your cars. Like for example, you have a rear parking sensor. But the way we see ADAS is in two ways. One is, we actually see basic sensors like cameras and everything sensing in real time on the car and informing the driver about stuff. For example, you're not able to see, it's a foggy night, and the infrared cameras are able to sense and immediately tell you, okay, there's something in front of you, you need to take corrective action. That is one of the ways. The second way is actually the most exciting way, where we plan to use rich spatial data coming in from the InTouch platform, again from the digital twin, and we plan to feed this data back into the car. Now, how this makes a difference? It immediately tells the car that where it is. That is the first and the important thing. Then it also helps the car to take corrective actions immediately. For example, there's a pothole, the car immediately comes to know there's a pothole and it can take corrective action. This actually paves the vision for us to make a self-driving autonomous car, which is actually a safer car. Now, how we build this car is, we plan to use different kind of sensors, like for example, reasonable low-cost LiDARs, we want to use cameras, we want to use high-accuracy GPS, and radars, and we want this data to be plugged into the real-world digital twin. Now, the real-world digital twin, it's an evolving digital twin, remember. So what you do is, whenever you get this data, your car is much more informed. and it can take better actions. For example, it wants to go to a particular location. For example, the way we envisage it is, so you're talking to a car, right? So you say, hey map, can you take me to this location? And the car immediately charts out the best way where to reach, and also keeps a check on the traffic conditions and everything on the go using the InTouch platform, and charts out the best way to reach there. Now with this, we really think this can make a lot of difference in actually making the cars more safer and preserve the real valuable life, which really matters to us. And with this, I'm going to give the stage back to Rohan. Thank you.
So what's our view about how this digital map twin can benefit everybody? Like, why make it? Well, like Christian must have told you, or like you know yourselves, the road accidents happen often. Vehicular safety, people in the car, people on the road, bystanders, the number of road accidents that happen in India are tremendously high. And if we can build a digital map twin that can power what we say super safe self-driving cars, well, that's an objective worth building. That's how we make the world better, through a technology. Because we believe this triumvirate of very precise navigation, of telematics, which creates live feedback loops, and ADAS, advanced driving assistance systems, combined can build a super safe car which can navigate itself autonomously and can basically prevent itself from hitting any obstacle. That's a self-driving car. But we don't want to stop at just that. We don't want to build just a map that can power self-driving cars, even if it can make them super safe. Because we know the solution isn't limited to that. The cities need to be smarter. Infrastructure needs to be smarter. So our digital map twin will model the entire city. It'll model infrastructure. It'll model movement of people, conditions through sensors, so that cars can talk to infrastructure. Cars can talk to the cities. People can navigate autonomously, order a car. So the idea behind a digital map twin is really to power smart cars, smart cities, and smart infrastructure. And if we achieve this, we believe that we all together will drive into the future with safe, self-driving cars in smart cities. So one more show and tell from this part, which is to show you in reality how we map and survey and capture the world. Because what is Real View? In essence, it's a technology, a platform, an ecosystem which captures, recognizes, and publishes in real time a full 360-degree, 3D, annotated, meaning tagged, advanced video map of the world. We need to be able to capture the world and model it in reality. We need to capture the world in all ways that the human being maps the world. By walking, by driving, by being on a bike, by hiking, by being indoors, even by flying. And not just that, it's not just the sensors. We need to integrate deep machine learning, deep computer vision techniques, all around these huge streams of video and data and location information, which is precise. And this is where MapMyIndia's different aspects, the IoT sensors that we have, vehicle sensors that we have, the streaming platform we have for telematics to capture data and publish it, the analytics engines that we have to do location-based analytics, the machine learning and computer vision techniques that we have to recognize objects in real time and understand that this is a dynamic object, it's moving. This is a static object, it's fixed. So the obstacle that is dynamic might move, but a fixed obstacle must be avoided at any cost. So let me bring on stage a few props. Actually, there are different types of computer eyes. There are eyes that can see the world, and you'll also see the brains behind that. So let's play the video about how we build these advanced video maps that can power autonomous vehicles. And let's get on stage some folks. So what you're seeing here on the video is a deep technical video, but it's interesting to see all these different objects. So let me start from the extreme, my left, your right. That's what we call our real view camera. It captures the world in full 360 degree. What he's wearing is a backpack version. So he can sit on a motorcycle, he can walk anywhere and capture that. It can also be placed on the top of a vehicle. It can also be placed on the top of a train. And what we're announcing today is we're bringing real view indoors. So we have a trolley that can quickly move anywhere in indoor and capture the 360 degree of that. What you're seeing here is a laser scanner. It basically scans the world in full 3D. So that camera has RGB and continuous snapshots. It gives you a real view as if you were there and driving. It's completely georeferenced, so you can extract 3D information from that. But using this laser, we can automatically and instantly understand depth and build a full 3D point cloud of the world around us. So that's RGB and D combined. What we're also announcing today is that we're introducing drone-based scanning and mapping techniques for real view. Because we believe that if you want to capture the world from different perspectives, then you need to have a drone-based solution. And so in private properties, or in properties where they allow it, these drones can capture the world in full 3D. The final piece I want to show you here is actually a live streaming video solution. So as part of our telematics platform, what you see is any video camera. It could be the real view camera or the laser or the drone connected to a box which has 3G, 4G in it, which can stream video, data, all sorts of data back to our cloud. And hence, whichever vehicles are containing these sensors, that information can come to us in real time. So like I said, these are all the sensors. Thanks a lot, guys, because I want to talk about one more thing in this. The sensors on their own would not be sufficient. We need to put it together in a video map, an advanced annotated video map. And so we've been hard at work the last 1.5 years, building lots of computer vision techniques, machine learning techniques, to understand features, to recognize features, how we take from a 3D point cloud, a set of pixels, a set of points, convert that into surfaces, and finally understand objects in 3D, so that we can model a street sign, we can model a car, we can model a pedestrian, we can model a face, we can model a license plate. Because we want to blur those. We don't want to publish real view as is. We don't want it to be really a replica of the real world, because honestly, it's best. MapMedia's efforts, I'm proud to announce today that we're acquiring Bengaluru-based VidTech to build advanced video maps. And the two gentlemen here, Chandra and Navada, join me in the center. We'll tell you a little bit about that.
Hey, thanks, Rohan. So, firstly, we are extremely excited to be acquired by MapMyIndia. I think it's a perfect match. So what I want to do is I want to talk a little bit about VidTech and how we got started. We started VidTech in 2008 to solve one of the real problems in India, which is navigation. We kind of knew that if you were to just provide text directions, it's not going to work in a country like India, just because most of the streets don't carry street names. That's when we thought giving a video clip of the complete route would be the right thing to do. That's how VidTech was born, and the term video map, which is video clip of the complete route. We were the first ones in the world to come with the concept of video map and the technology associated with it. What we believe is when people look at the video clip of the route, they clearly know what kind of buildings, the color of the buildings, the landmarks, the roads, road widths, all that stuff, to look for while they are trying to reach their destination. The way we build video maps is we have vehicles with cameras mounted on top of it. They go day in, day out, try to capture all the raw videos. We also use drones to capture video maps for real estate properties and builders. So these raw videos, they get processed, and then post-processing, they actually get, they're taken live onto our portals, which is vidtech.com and mapmyhome.com. So we also have a portal called mapmyhome.com, right? So today we have video map more than 20 cities in India, which kind of includes some of the big real estate townships, as well as other townships, right? So again, we are all we are extremely excited to be part of MapMyIndia. Thank you all.
Let me just give you perspective of future. So over 8.5 years of our journey in VidTech, we have been developing video map technology. We have been using videos, we have been using 360 panoramas to visualize cities. Going forward with MapMyIndia, we are going to develop advanced video map technology. In the advanced video map technology, we are going to use high definition maps, the LiDARs, lasers, and all the things which you have seen, all the gadgets which we have seen, we are going to use to actually survey the real world. We are all set to create digital map twin. You'll be wondering what is digital map twin. Digital map twin is a virtual world very similar to your real world. It would contain indoor maps, outdoor maps, 360 pictures, then it contain aerial views, 3D representations. It may even contain the pictures around you, as and when you talk. You will be able to interact with that map very similar to digital games. It will have terrains, it will have roads, it will have features very similar to our real cities like Mumbai, Delhi. We believe that is the future of the map. We are kind of committed to building it. Over the next 2 years, we will actually build infrastructures and technology to create and update this digital map twin. The market for such three-dimensional, high-definition, multimedia-rich maps is actually immense. Specifically, if I am talking, autonomous vehicle being one, smart city being one, and then digital geo games. These are the possible applications. Over several days, you will find some sort of digital map twin on our websites, and you will be able to access through your mobiles, desktops. We are trying to give you an experience of real-time visit of the places in the virtual world. Thank you.
With VidTech and the VidTech founders, we found a common history. We found a common passion. They're ex-Intel, ex-Stanford, just like MapMyIndia folks, and they share our passion for maps, for cutting-edge technologies, and for accelerating India's development. We couldn't be more happier to welcome them into MapMyIndia's fold and together build maps and location technologies that will build a better future for India and the rest of the world. Thank you, guys. It's great to have you as part of MapMyIndia. So you heard about this big vision, big idea around digital map twin. But I missed out on one small piece. If you want a car to navigate autonomously, or if you want a city to work seamlessly, you're not going to be able to use some of the analog relics of the past. For example, the car will not understand your accent when you say C2 by A, 149, Janakpuri, New Delhi. The Indian addressing system is complex, it's confusing, it's long. And if we actually spend our time trying to build all the ways to understand the addresses, then we're doing something wrong. At MapMyIndia, we have a big idea to represent the physical world digitally, to give an identity, a unique digital identity to every place, to every doorstep. Just the way Aadhaar has given a unique digital identity to every person across India, through 2 successive governments backing it, thousands of crores of investments, and a huge involvement of everybody. They have enrolled 100 crore plus people. In our own small way, for the last 25 years, 750 people at MapMyIndia, professional mappers, professional surveyors, have been investing 200 crore rupees as well as cutting-edge technologies and our blood, sweat, and tears to professionally map. Just the way your thumbprint has 80 unique points or your face has 80 unique points to uniquely identify you, we uniquely identify all the attributes around a place. Its polygonal shape, georeferencing, its entry point, the floor it is on, the flat, the different attributes just like the name, the address, the phone number, the postal address. And we've shortened it, simplified it, and made it available very simply, powerfully, precisely, and a ready-to-use manner. We call it e-lock, short for e-location. It's an idea that we published, made live 12 years ago in 2005. And only now, after the confluence of mobile, confluence of location being used by everybody, and maps getting more powerful, we believed it's the right time to reinvent the postcode, the postal code. And hence, e-lock, very simply put, is your doorstep's PIN code. We think it will transform the lives of all of us. We think it will make easy doorstep directions, doorstep delivery, doorstep taxi pickup and drop-off, and property or establishment or habitation level governance. We also think it'll make self-driving cars easier because even a kid programmer can understand speech to text on elock.me/87df8b. It's 6 alphanumeric characters. There are just 36 for it to recognize. It's very easy for autonomous car to have automatic, unambiguous address input. So let me call on stage Venkat to tell you a little bit more about elock.
The world is shrinking with the technology and the addresses with elock. So your doorstep's PIN code, India's nationwide doorstep level digital address system, which is simple, easy to recall, speedier communication, precise and unique, post-verified doorstep location, and ready to use. So over 20 million in public domain already and continuously being generated. And it's open standard, secure, and shareable over any channels, SMS, or social media network, web link. So as simple like Kingdom of Dreams, Gurgaon is 87DF8B. So how it fits? So it's driven by the map data, which is built by MapMyIndia over 2 decades. And this is being powered by MapMyIndia's LBS, the location-based solution framework, and over that, you see the elock digital address service APIs. So this constitutes the heart, the engine of the elock, and where it is basically, again, supplemented by the services like the primary data collection and verification in the field, affixation of even house numbers or plates and stickers. And we have the platform as a service where we additionally provide data or attribute as services. And we can also stream the images, the high-resolution images as a service, and then the real view, the digital twin as a service. So the use cases are plenty. And when we are talking about 80% of the spatial data is connected for every business. So we talk about the municipal tax, the collection system, emergency and rescue management. We're talking about navigation, moving from place to place in this already congested urban world. We're talking about the doorstep delivery. So today, everyone is witnessing or using the e-commerce delivery. So how it fits into the Digital India campaign? So we have the JAM, Jan Dhan Yojana, Aadhaar, and the mobile. And we have all the layers, so where Aadhaar is the primary authentication layer, and then we have the eKYC, the consent layer, and then the cashless, so already we are using the UPI or the payment gateways, and then the DigiLocker with the paperless. So the whole denominator of them is nothing but precisely the location. So the location is powered, or we see that elock API platform solution service fits into this location layer. So I hand over from here to Rohan.
Thanks, Venkat. So like we said, we believe true governance in India will come bottom up because the top-down approach on governing India seems to be going fantastically well. But we need to empower every citizen. We need to empower every village, every panchayat, every municipality, every municipal corporation, every district government, every state government, and of course the center. And we believe you can govern in the real world only if you understand and can act based on location. So while we are super excited about all the initiatives being taken around Digital India, we strongly believe there is a gap because each of these things, be it people's identities or taxation or has an address or a location linked to it. And if you can actually bring that additional layer of location, you can govern in the real world. So we really hope that we can work closely with the government at all levels. There are 7 lakh plus governments in India, if you count every village, municipality, district, state, and center. With 5 crore plus businesses, both big or small, and of course, to power 125 plus crore Indians. And that brings me to what is close to my heart, because that's what I got involved with at MapMyIndia when I was 19 in 2004, which was how do we bring the benefits of what we are doing at MapMyIndia to all billion Indians. The developing part of India that seems to have been forgotten or left behind, but yet that is aspirational. And the one that has already arrived but wants to lead the world. So a couple of years ago, maybe a year ago, we started to think deeply that we're doing so many different things at MapMyIndia. But how do we take the map and make it useful to every consumer? And also, how do we make an app that you would choose to use despite having a preloaded option on most of your phones? And so we thought, who's been left behind in this map revolution? Well, a lot of them. A lot of people don't speak English, and maps are mostly in English. A lot of people are comfortable in their old language. A lot of people don't use maps just in map apps. They use maps in daily parts of their lives to order a taxi, to order a delivery. So how do you build a map app as an assistant to serve you, to help you? And also, how do you build a map app that can take your real world and put it in your pocket? Because what is your real world? First of all, it's your life's journey. You were born somewhere, you are living somewhere today, you went somewhere yesterday. It's not just the age that we live with, it's not just time, it's also the spatial movement of us in the real world, which represents the journey of our life. So we said that we'll represent your journey. The second is, we wanted to give you a worldview of what's happening around. What's happening around you? What's happening somewhere? Think of it as a periscope into a real world, where if you look down, you can see what's happening in that place. Think of what are the things you need to do normally with a map. Search for a place, get directions, find places nearby. But think beyond that too. Wouldn't you like to know where all the people you care about and all the things you care about are? Wouldn't you like to know what is happening in the world, and wouldn't you want to help make the world smarter if you could? Because today when something doesn't work, we complain on social media. And we thought, how can we make the map smarter, and how can we make our own lives more actionable? Instead of having a plan of action, can we not have an action map? And hence, we have this idea of how the world can become smarter using our map app. And like I said in the TV ad, we have really 4 big tenets at MapMyIndia. We power with maps, we power with navigation, we power with tracking, and we power with analytics. We had a whole plethora of apps out there for different sets of consumers who had IoT devices, for different sets of users who wanted to do analytics. And we said, let's change it. Let's do something different. Let's simplify it, and let's not call it Maps, because that name is taken on the App Store. Let's make it even shorter. Let's call it Map. And I'll have Tarini tell you about it.
Hi everyone, I'm Tarini, and I'm going to start by addressing the most obvious or linear way that we relate to a map, which is an app, right? something that you've used to probably search for directions, check traffic, get an alternate route maybe, a basic navigation tool. Actually, like Rohan was saying, we at Map My India think of a map as much more. So in one app, we've integrated mapping, navigation, tracking, and analytics all into that one app. And why have we done that, right? It's because we are thinking of a map for you. What do you want to see? Probably you want to see your world, your community, your city, your exact surroundings. I'm going to take you through an example to help make this easier. So let's say I'm navigating towards Kingdom of Dreams, and I open my phone and I type elog.me/87df8b. And I'm on my way. I'm off to Kingdom of Dreams. Actually, along the way, I felt unsafe. So I just long pressed on the map, and I got a whole host of smart city issues that I could have reported from. This could be anything, like an electricity failure, a pothole, water wastage, broken street light, but I chose to report that I'm feeling unsafe. What happened next, actually, was that I could see all the reports of that area on my map. So overlaid on the buildings, the houses, the hotels, the restaurants, the roads, I could see all the issues that were reported by that community. So I was analyzing all these reports on a map. Next, what happened is that my friends in that area, who are near me, got a notification. One of them asked me to share my location with them for a certain amount of time. And I swiped right, and I gave that permission. She could track me till the point that I was feeling unsafe. She could track me straight from the map app. And all this is really powerful, right? To be able to analyze, to be able to report, to be able to track. Just as a user, for me to even see was really powerful. But what about if you're a local government or business? Being able to see this in one app overlaid on a map is really powerful. And that time has come that we need to take care and take ownership of our community and our world to help make this world better through maps and location technologies. The map app has a set of really cool features. Specifically, I'm going to talk to you about my people and my devices. Imagine that you have a device in a car, any vehicle for that matter, a truck, two-wheeler, whatever it is. You can track straight from the app all your fleet on the map, where they are. Similarly for people, maybe your mobile workforce. So if you're using an app, let's say Workmate by Map My India, you can track your entire workforce straight from the app. And all this aligns with our vision of making one app for all billion Indians. We want to give this power in a ubiquitous way so that maps and location technologies reaches every disenfranchised person in this country. One way in which we're doing that today is through Hey Maps. And for that, I'm going to call back on stage Rohan. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Tarini. We're excited about this map app. It's already on the app stores. Just search for map. You should find it unless we're booted down because of app store optimization by certain people. And there's more coming. So within a month, by 15th May, you'll see the convergence of all these features. So we're continuously iterating on this app. Feel free to give us feedback. We're looking to build a map app for all billion Indians. But we don't just want to build a map app. We want the map of your real world to be available to you, in your pocket, accessible to you, usable by you, regardless of what you're doing, because we believe that the map pervades all use cases. And so, we're excited to announce today that we're also launching an interesting innovative solution to helping you have the most powerful map of India, regardless of which app or which website or which browser you are in. It's an assistant that you can pull up by just clicking on the keyboard icon. And it's called Hey Map. We really envision a world where you can talk to the map and say, hey map, can you take me to Kingdom of Dreams? Hey map, what's nearby? Hey map, tell me where I was 10 days ago. We really want to bring the power of the assistant, the hyper-local, truly local assistant in your phone. And so we're launching a keyboard app. And not just that, we're localizing the map, which you'll see across the board, where it'll be available in multiple Indian languages. Not just that, you can type your input into the keyboard in any language. You can ask the keyboard to any map question. And as you fill up the answer, it'll fill up the space. So in case you want to share the e-lock of some place with somebody, you just have to type the keyboard, search for the e-lock, and share it, be it if you're in WhatsApp, in Facebook, or on any other website. And we believe that the e-lock is a better way of giving an answer than a normal PIN. Not just that, you can speak to the map. So using the voice input of the phones, you can actually press a button and say, hey map, show me directions to someplace. To do this, we decided to partner with another great Indian company. It's called Reverie Languages Technology. We've known them for 7 years. They're equally passionate about India, and they are even, I want to say they're the parallel to Map My India in the world of languages, because they are focused on localization, not just translation, but transliteration, and they're doing deep technology in the language space. So I'm proud to bring on stage our partner, Arvind Pani of Reverie, CEO and founder. Arvind, join me, please.
Hello. Good afternoon, everybody. It has been 70 years since India attained its independence. But we are still dependent on English language to enter into the internet. You may not know that in India today, only 4% of Indians can really understand English very fluently. You may also like to know that every 40 kilometers that we travel, a dialect changes. Despite this, most of the content on the internet, including our map and navigation data, are available in English language. With this partnership, Map My India and Reverie, we are changing that. Rohan just talked about India's first fully localized map platform. This is already available, map as well as a navigational instruction that's available in Hindi language, and it will very shortly be available in other languages as well. It is covering 100 cities and almost 600,000 villages. We are pretty sure that this is going to make a large impact. The reason being, we are also providing language technologies to Ola cabs, their drivers, to view the application, the driver's application in local languages. And we are very happy to say that more than 80% of their driver base are already using that application, not in English, but in their respective languages. Rohan also mentioned about Hey Maps. This is India's first language-based map keyboard and mobile assistant. There are a few things that you can do in this. One is you can have your location without even exiting from this application, the keypad application. You could send your location accurate to your doorstep. You could search for your localities around you. And you could ask a very simple question as, hey map, मैं कहाँ हूँ? Everything in your language. And the data that is converted there is all in real time. एक चीज मैं आपको बताना चाहूंगा यहाँ पे, भारत बहुत ही अनोखी कंट्री है. हमारे देश की जो प्रॉब्लम्स हैं, भारतवासियों की समस्याएं, भारतीय ही अच्छी तरह से समझ सकते हैं और अच्छे से उसको सॉल्व भी कर सकते हैं. इसलिए दो भारतीय कंपनी, मैप माई इंडिया और रेवरी, हम लोगों ने ये ठान लिया है कि भारतीयों को, हर भारतीयों को अपने डेस्टिनेशन तक हम लोग पहुंचाएंगे और अपनी भाषा में पहुंचाएंगे. धन्यवाद. रोहन, ओवर टू यू प्लीज.
Thank you. I'll take the clicker from you. I'll take the clicker. Yeah. Like Arvind said, this is also a big idea. People used to laugh at us in 2004. People used to laugh at my parents in 1995. What are you doing building maps? What are you doing building a mapindia.com portal? Nobody in India needs maps. Nobody in India will use maps. I mean, I think people have written off. The most recent news is that India is a poor country. It doesn't need apps. That's not true. The most expansion, the largest markets for apps, for usage, for mobile, for technology is India. And India is not one India. Yes, there is a part of India that is like the West, but there's a large part of India that is larger than the West, but very different from the West. It's not even like China. Only a part of India is like China. So India is an amalgamation of the West, of the East, of the rest. And that's what we want to solve for. We want to make lives for consumers better. We want to make lives for businesses, be it big ones or small ones, who operate in their own language, governments across the country. And so with MAP, the app, and Hey Map, the assistant, and also our platform, which is completely Indianized, localized in every language, we believe we can empower all billion Indians. I told you before that we think deeply about this concept of a map. And you know what was interesting to us? What excites all Mapma Indians in the morning, every day, is that the map is the purest form of representation of the real world. And so when we come into work, we are just trying to understand and appreciate and share the value of the map. And so one of that aspects is a map is inherently made up of nodes and links. It's not alone. You are not alone in the real world, never. There are connections. But through a map, we can show real-world connections, local connections. So like when Tarni said, on social media, when you share something, you share it with your social networks. But in Mapma India, when you share something, you spread it, you diffuse it locally. And so if you had to see a map of how information traveled in the map app, when I share, the local area folks who are in my area, they see it in the world view. They pick it up. They discover that information. And so it's really modeling the real world. The same way that disease spreads locally, we can model that information sharing on a map and hence prevent further spreading of that. But how do I tie that back into this idea of a map is inherently made of nodes and links? Well, I want to say this. We don't want to do everything alone. We don't believe in this idea of a monopoly. We don't believe in this idea of one person rules it out. We definitely don't want to be evil. And we believe truly that together great things can be achieved when everyone, everything, and every place is connected. And so, MapMindia from its inception has been interested in working with the ecosystem. And together with all of you, we'll map the future together of a better world. How do we do that? Well, this world is definitely being shaped by technology. You are not just users. In fact, social media made you all content producers. Well, technology is converting you not just from a consumer to a producer, but also to a developer. Even children need to understand how the building blocks of technologies work. And that's what is known as an API. How different blocks come together to solve real-life problems through location technologies. And MapMindia has a deep stack of APIs, a lot of building blocks that you can play around with, around advanced maps, around navigation, around telematics, around analytics, around the live world. And 10,000 developers use the MapMindia API stack. Some of the biggest companies use the MapMindia stack. So even if directly we're able to reach only 1 crore Indians, indirectly, we know we are touching 50 crore Indians today, and we want to take that number, both those numbers, quite high in the coming time. Like Arvind said, we believe in this idea that India can lead the world. And we strongly believe in this idea of Digital India combined with Make in India will be best for India. So I'm happy to share certain key strategic alliances that we are doing to bring together best-in-class Make in India companies with MapMyIndia. Let me start with the one that makes us all proud. You saw our TV ad is a salute to ISRO, the Indian Space Research Organization. ISRO is critical to India because ISRO is focused on making India better. ISRO is the leader in satellite and space-based mapping technology. About a year ago, we collaborated with them to bring together the power of Bhuvan, which is a satellite imagery and remote sensing map portal of Bhuvan, of ISRO, of the government of India, and MapMyIndia. We mashed them up. This is the official, legal satellite imagery of the country. And this is the best map which respects India's security, sovereignty, and people's privacy, mashed up together. ISRO also possesses the ability in disasters to do near real-time imaging and publishing because they own the stack. So the power of these two indigenous Indian giants coming together means that India is independent of any foreign technology or source of data or technology provider. Interestingly, ISRO also launched 7 satellites last year to make India's own navigation satellite system. It's not called GPS, it's called Navik. And 2 months ago, if you heard Man Ki Baat, they talked about how ISRO has worked with a company to make an app that can help fishermen realize that they're chartering into outside India water territories and can help the Coast Guard guide them. Well, that company was MapMyIndia. We strongly believe in this idea of Navik. It's a fledgling but very well thought out platform for satellite navigation systems. It is focused on the Indian subcontinent. It creates more satellites which can help us position more accurately. And over time, it's only going to get better. And what's something better than something made in India if it works the best? So today, I'm happy to share with you the next phase of our partnership with ISRO, which is working on Navik. So you will see mobile phones, you will see GPS devices in future integrate Navig technology. And MapMindia will be at the forefront of pushing that, making that available to all of you. So that in times of disaster, in times of need, they can be used to precisely map. In times of war, if for some reason the American system goes down, for some reason, India should not be in the dark. This is the power of MapMindia and ISRO. We also believe that there are a huge number of e-governance applications across all the government agencies from village to central level, which can leverage this power of ISRO and MapMindia together. And we encourage all government agencies to leverage this digital India mapping and space technology stack. The next announcement I want to make is around another great Made in India company. It's been in the news. When we look at making the physical supply chain efficient, to make cities smarter, to make e-commerce better, to make transportation without friction, the big idea is, how do you organize this unorganized trucking and logistics industry? And our friends at IDEA had a great idea to solve this problem. I'd love to call on stage our partner, Shri Rajat Mukherjee, Chief Corporate Affairs Officer of IDEA Cellular, to talk a little bit about what IDEA is doing.
That was really exciting, Rohan. Thank you so much for that. And, you know, it's appropriate that we are standing here talking about mapping the future in a location which is appropriately called the Kingdom of Dreams. But the only difference is that these are actually dreams which are all going to come true. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. That's what Rohan has been keeping us so engaged about. IDEA and MapMyIndia have had an association which has been extremely critical in a small but very important cog of our entire Indian economy. Logistics and transportation in an economy of our size accounts for approximately 65% of the movements of goods and services across the country. But it's not a regular transport organization. There are third-party vendors who are involved in this entire process. So how do you get, as a shipper of goods, how do you know when your goods are getting to the factory? Are they going to get there in time, or are they going to be delayed as a result of a breakdown of the vehicle or a hold-up at a border? Hopefully GST is going to make that a little better. But these were some of the challenges which are faced by the vendors and the suppliers when they are shipping goods from one location to another. So IDEA had an application, MMI had the stack, and you know, the rest, as they say, in the future is going to be history. So we are working together. We are working very closely on this. We already have a whole host of operators out there who are using this solution, so it's not something which is still on the test bed. It's actually out there and working. And it's great to be here in this particular environment where we can talk about mapping the future. And I'd just like to congratulate the team. I have met them back in 2005 myself, as I was just mentioning to somebody. So I know the kind of work that they have been doing, consistently growing, consistently sticking to the knitting. And I'd like to congratulate them for that. Thank you very much.
Sir, thank you so much, sir. We believe this idea of IDEA to have a disposable IoT for the open market logistics market will transform the way that e-commerce companies, FMCG companies, civic service subsidy delivery companies, or organizations which have to distribute goods and goods across the country can efficiently monitor, live track, and communicate the status and location of goods. So thank you for your partnership. The next partnership I want to tell you about is a company that MapMy India invested in 2 years ago. It's a health company. It's called Visit. It's an AI-powered telemedicine platform. Their mission is to make healthcare available anytime, anywhere. It's a free app. You just go to getvisitapp.com, download the app for Android or iOS, and you can chat for free with a doctor about any niggle, any question that you have. You can also do a video or voice consultation with a specialist in case the problem is severe. MapMy India doesn't invest in companies, but this one struck our eye because their idea was big. They wanted to make India better, and hence we invested in them. But health and mapping, at the face of it, there is no correlation. Well, I want to tell you today that we're happy to announce a partnership which will push forward this Swasth Bharat, Swachh Bharat initiative. How together MapMy India and Visit will make Bharat Swasth. So like I said, Visit allows you to chat or video consult online with a doctor anytime, anywhere, because there are not enough doctors to serve our entire population. But what happens when you need something in the real world, which is medically or health-wise or fitness-wise necessary? What if you need to discover the nearby chemists? What if you need to discover the nearby health facilities? What if you need to call an ambulance, and the ambulance needs to know exactly where you are, and there is not enough time to waste? Well, combining MapMy India's maps, point of interest information, our stack, our navigation capabilities, our tracking capabilities, and our analytics capabilities, we are offering a combined solution for smart cities, and not just smart cities, for tier 2 towns, for villages, for the state, to augment till the time the physical primary healthcare center and secondary and tertiary health systems and emergency systems are not prevalent everywhere. At least technology can bridge that gap. And that's what we're trying to do with Visit, to make Bharat Swasth. I hope you all use the Visit app, and over time, it becomes your go-to app for any health query or health emergency or health need. The next partnership I want to tell you about is around lighting. Now, light is an interesting concept. If there's light, we all can feel safe at night. We all can study. We can all work. But lights don't tend to work in India often, historically. There's been a growth. You must have seen on social media this growth of lighting at night in India across the country, showing you the urbanization. But there are still many challenges in making India a fully lit, a fully powered, and a fully energy efficient country. Because energy is fixed, and we can only kind of consume as much and should not waste it. So let me bring on stage the founder of Atapaha, Aman Chawla, to talk about what MapMy India and Atapaha are doing around smart street lighting for smart cities.
Thanks, Rohan. So before I talk about this light, I just want you to visualize something. So imagine you're driving on a street, and as you move, the lights start glowing to full brightness. And as you move out of the street, the lights dim back to 20% of their actual power. Just imagine 1 a.m. and from 1 a.m. to 6 a.m., if the light is consuming 20% of the energy that it is designed to be lit up at. So this 80% energy saved is our target. Just imagine if this network of streetlights can be made in India, then the amount of energy that we could save. Now I want you to visualize a little bit more. Imagine the same street at 7 p.m. and is full of traffic. Imagine if the street lamp can tell the traffic light that the traffic is of a certain level, so the light should remain at green for longer so that the traffic can clear. Now imagine a third thing. If there's an ambulance on this street where there is traffic, and the ambulance can press a button to make sure that the light goes green, so that the vehicle can be preempted and it can reach the hospital sooner. So we realized that to build such a system, we need to partner with the best, and that's why we came to MapMyIndia, and we are together developing solutions for Indian streets where automation can be done, and these street lamps can be used most efficiently. So now I'll tell you a little bit about Atapa. So we are currently executing a project of 1.5 million street lamp automation in India, and its street lamp automation is a great advancement from what the system currently is. Currently, in most of the towns and municipalities, you see there are linesmen who get onto a bicycle in the evening at 5 p.m. and they ride to each feeder point and they turn on an MCB. So it might be 1 hour before the light is actually supposed to be on, but they turn it on just in case they're not able to reach the last point in time. So what we have is a product that does this automatically. It's a GPRS-based device that connects to a server application, and it's scheduled to turn on and off for the entire year. So as the sun changes its position, the time at which the light turns on also changes. So this system helps save a lot of cost and manpower expense for the municipal corporation, and in turn, a lot of energy for the country. So I'm really proud to be associated with MapMyIndia, and it's great and exciting times ahead for us. Thank you.
Thanks, Saman. So when we saw that they had these smart LED lights and smart controller IoT devices, and what they were trying to do with energy efficiency in India, we thought this was a match made in heaven. With MapMyIndia's InTouch IoT platform that can process all sorts of data from various real-world sensors and do two-way communication to control, not just monitor, essentially manage real-world sensors. We felt that the combination of Atapaha and MapMyIndia can lead to smart street lighting solutions. I'll leave it to your imagination, as Anman said, about the immense applications from safety and efficiency, but you can see where this partnership will go in the future. So I talked about some big companies and big ideas, but do we really want to limit innovation to a few companies? Not one, not a few, but we believe that ideas and innovation and apps and research and insights can come from anywhere. India is the country of Aryabhat, of Ramanujan, of the greatest scientists that have ever been there, the greatest philosophers, the most creative minds. And that's our idea behind appmyindia.com, because it's a tech platform. It's MapMyIndia's developer platform, where we want you to build a smarter India, powered by the most advanced map and location technologies of India. So 6 months ago, we launched a contest. Because how else do we get attention of people in colleges, in startups, developers who are working day jobs? We said we'll spend lots of money on giving prizes. Not lots, 50,000 rupees, 1 lakh rupees, 2 lakh rupees. But it's sufficient for somebody to pay attention. And we said, come up with the best ideas, come up with the best apps, come up with the best ads that communicate, and come up with the best research abstracts that you need help with to find insights and new knowledge for the world. We were floored by the responses. We had 8,000 responses from across the country. In fact, last month, we held the finale of AppMy India in Pilani, BITS Pilani. And we had some amazing ideas, amazing finalists. You will see them in the experience zones later today. They will be launching their products, their apps, their ideas, and we'll be handing over them prizes there. And then we thought, how do we make this AppMy India construct perpetual? How do we continue to fuel innovation? How do we institutionalize this? Because a contest can run old, a contest can get over. So we brought in Let's Venture, India's largest startup funding platform, which said that for all the AppMy India participants, those who want to convert their ideas, apps, ads, or research opportunities into startups, they can help them review their pitches, their business plans, and pitch to the best angel investors across the country. In a way, you can think that Visit, the health company MapMy India invested in, was the very first AppMy India startup. So we believe this will fuel innovation and provide them the launch structure to launch their businesses from inception to greatness. We also felt that core research, AI, deep tech, and experimentation, essentially mapping the future, needs to be institutionalized in academia, in research. That's how the Silicon Valley has been this innovation engine. That's how Israel has been an innovation engine, or Japan, or China, or even India, with great institutions like the Indian Institute of Science, the IITs, the IIMs, and BITS Pilani. So we're working very closely with BITS Pilani to create a Map the Future lab, where you can literally map the future of anything. And yeah, it would be nice if you used maps and location. In fact, you can build the future of maps and location. There are two interesting startups that we're working with, or student groups there. One is, which is the only Indian team from around the world, or from India, which is building the prototype for Hyperloop, a new mode of transportation, and you'll see them today. And the other is trying to build an all-terrain vehicle, which is autonomous, which can drive from the deserts of Pilani to the urban jungles of Delhi. But finally, I want to bring up on stage a partner which is close to my heart, because that's how I got inspired with this new vision of self-driving cars. I used to walk every day or cycle every day at Stanford in front of the Memorial Church before the Oval, going to the electrical engineering department, going to the computer science department. And I would see this blue car. It was called Stanley. It was a car that was participating in the DARPA challenge. And I researched, and I found that the professor from Carnegie Mellon who was driving that initiative was Sebastian Tharoun. And he had a deep insight around how self-driving cars can become a reality and how maps will play a critical role. That inspired me, and that stayed with me all these years. So when we had a chance to partner with his organization, Udacity India, we jumped on it. I'd love to call on stage the MD of Udacity India, also a Stanford alum, who believes in education and empowerment, Ishan Gupta.
Thanks, Rohan. This is mind-blowing stuff. Thank you for having us here. Udacity, founded in California, is the global leader in technology trainings from areas of Android to iOS, front-end to full stack, and machine learning and artificial intelligence to robotics and car automation. The company is basically preparing the future world. What I mean by that is that we are preparing people for the jobs of tomorrow, jobs that will automate everything, jobs in areas of robotics, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and car automation. So let me take this opportunity to play a small video of Udacity.
This is for the dreamers, the
forward thinkers,
for the innovators,
the defiant,
for those who dare to imagine the future.
Udacity prepares you for the jobs of tomorrow.
Learn Silicon Valley skills with a nano degree program.
Enroll now at udacity.com.
Among all the programs that we run globally, we have more than 5 million users who have enrolled for more than 8 million courses globally. 25,000 of them are actually pursuing what we call as nano degrees, a full-fledged online program in which you not only pursue a program, you also put in your projects for review. There are mentors and gurus who are evaluating your content, and once you successfully graduate from the program, you become a nano degree graduate. Our pride and joy among all our programs is the program that we call as How to Build a Self-Driving Car. Yes, it is called as How to Build a Self-Driving Car. This program has been developed by none other than our founder, Sebastian Thrun, who's lovingly called as the godfather of self-driving car automation. He was the one who coded the first car at Google Labs when he was there, the first self-driving car. And then he founded Udacity. We are super excited to have MapMyIndia as one of our hiring partners in India. Before I talk about that, I would love to play a little video in which Sebastian himself is talking about this program.
Building self-driving car has been the dream of my life, and I've dedicated more than 10 years to it. If we can build a safer car, we would save a lot of lives. But on top of it, it's transformational. Just imagine, instead of owning a car, you have a little phone and you summon a car, and an empty car comes to you. You just jump in and lets you go somewhere, and when you don't need it anymore, it disappears. There is an enormous market for self-driving car engineers. Lots and lots of companies that you wouldn't suspect have entered that field and are massively hiring. I challenge everybody here to be part of this. We're launching at Udacity a nano-degree program called Self-Driving Cars so that everyone in the world can become a self-driving car engineer.
When this program opened last year, 25,000 applicants from around the world applied for this program, and 5,000 people got an opportunity to take this program. In India, we were wondering which are the companies that we should work with who would have an appetite to hire some of the graduates who come out of this program. By the way, if you're wondering, are there people from India pursuing this program? I'm happy to tell you that more than 10% of the class of self-driving car program globally is coming from India. This is super encouraging, this is super motivating for us because we know that in India, people are already preparing for the jobs of tomorrow. So I'm super excited to partner with MapMyIndia on this, where our nano degree graduates in areas of self-driving car, even robotics, artificial intelligence, machine learning, will get an opportunity to potentially get career opportunities with MapMyIndia. Great job, guys. Look forward to the rest of the day.
Thanks. Thank you. Thanks, Ishan. I mean, they're saying that AI will take away jobs. They're saying that self-driving cars will take away the jobs of the drivers. But there are new jobs to be created. Human beings continuously need to evolve. And Udacity will help the next generation, students as well as professionals, prepare themselves for the jobs of the future. What's interesting is MapMyIndia has a slightly different take on self-driving cars than the typical way that has been done on the West. And we will bring that unstructured knowledge of India, the real roads, the real ways people drive, to the graduates of this program. And hopefully, over time, we can help shape the way this program is also taught so that more and more people can enjoy self-driving vehicles and the benefits that come from it, from a safety, from an efficiency. And we can skill people to further do more jobs and have more prosperity. So this concludes this segment and almost everything of this press conference announcements. We strongly believe in a digital India. We strongly believe in Make in India. But more than everything, we want to do what's best for India. And I hope that today you see that the map and Map My India is deeply intertwined, interlinked, and mapped to the future of a best India. I want to end the press conference by sharing something personal. We're different. We're different people. We're the map people. We are inspired by the West. We are inspired by our East. But we are also inspired by the rest. We're all about the future, but we never forget our past. We're all about the new and what one can imagine, but we never forget the old and the journey and the hardships that it took to get there. We all at Map My India share a passion for maps. We share a passion to make our world better. We're committed to making the world better. We don't have a technology mission if you look at our mission. It's not, as some people say, to organize the world's information. It is to make our world better through maps and location technologies. It's a social mission. It's a mission that means what we say, to make our world better. Why did we make this our mission? It's because that's what I was taught by my parents. And that's what 750 of us at Map My India. And I'd love to acknowledge everybody at Map My India. If you are working at Map My India, can you please stand up so that everybody else can see you and acknowledge the work that you're doing. All of these Map My Indians, thousands of them in the last 25 years, a few of them are present here, many at our offices, many at our what we call factories in the field where we are surveying, many at the experience zone, have been skilled and scaled up and imbibed with values from our founders, Mr. Rakesh and Mrs. Rashmi Verma. So you guys can take your seat now. I'd love to call on stage our founders to talk about their journey and to open the Q&A for the press conference after that by inviting the rest of the panelists. But first, join us on stage.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
I would not like to take much time. I know we are running late, but still, I don't know what to say. With the inspiration I'm getting, not just here, with all of us working at Map My India, and what I heard today from Rohan and the team, is just, I can get emotional, but I would like to stay out of that. Yes, it's true. When we started the journey, leaving behind whatever great things we had in the United States for 12 long years, people called us crazy coming back to India in the early 90s. But we had a deep desire to do something for India through the technologies that we had learned, through the ways we learned how to work in that country. So I owe personally a lot to the great country, the United States. But having come back, we really felt what is it that we can add value for the development of the country. Building the maps, creating the maps, somehow we fell in love. And I still remember when Rohan was maybe 8 years old, his friends used to ask him, your parents, what do they do? And his simple answer was, they work hard. Now that's the journey we started. And we have continued on that journey knowing very well. It's not that we didn't know at that time that the task we have in front of us is enormous. and the hurdles we will face, God knows whether we will be able to survive. Yes, the entire country to be mapped, when it will get mapped. But in 1995 itself, I could understand very clearly that without the digital map, without the location technologies, the world can't become better. When I say the world can't become better, is without having the digital maps, the world can't be helped get better. Today, and with that conviction, when I made a statement in one of the places like this, back in 1995, that 80% of the data will have a location element. I don't mind sharing with you, people laughed at us. They felt, what location has to do with running a business? What location has to do with people's lives? Today, certainly all of us can agree that it has become part of our life. Now, the next part in 2017, when we are thinking about smarter India, smarter cities, smarter cars, all that, and Rohan has quite well put in already, saying, using the word digital map twin. And I'm quite convinced that this digital map twin on which the team has chartered on, we'll get to see, and I'm sure it will not take as long as it took us from 1995 till 2005, or I'll say till 2015, to bring the digital map in our pocket. Thank you with that, and let me ask Rashmi to share her views.
Okay, I would like to welcome everybody here, and thanks to everybody for making all this effort to come and join us in Map the Future conference. I would just like to say a few things. A lot has been said about the Map My India's map data platform, and that platform has been built, and it's every day new things are being added to it. So I would just like to give you my perspective, where I am today. I am more focused on people today. Platform is one thing, and the other thing is technology. My focus is to make people not afraid of technology, because technology is helping us provide disruptive solutions to the people, which is making their lives better. So people should not be afraid of jobs becoming obsolete. The idea is to get upskilled. So I'm focused on upskilling people, and I work with people in Map My India day in and day out. I'm engaged with almost everybody in Map My India, and I'm helping them upskill themselves, and it's a very rewarding experience. I have excellent colleagues who are so enthusiastic and passionate about maps and data and building solutions. On top of it, it's a very multi-dimensional area. It's not just maps. Maps are not so good by themselves. It's solutions built on top of those maps. So we can only build very few solutions, and we are focusing on those solutions, but we would love, and we want, and we are doing that, bringing all people on board to leverage on the map and data platform that we have built to build disruptive solutions for India to make the lives of the people better. And the other thing that I am interested in women's empowerment. A lot of women in Map My India are working and putting and giving their best and doing very well indeed. And I would like to extend help in any way that I can to extend in India a women's empowerment and participation, because that is 50% of our workforce, and we want them to contribute to the development of the country. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. I would request you to stay on the stage, sit, and now we'd like to open the Q&A. So if I could have our partners join us on stage. Shri Rajat Mukherjee of Idea Cellular, please. Arvind Pani of Reverie, please. Aman Chawla of Atapaha, please. Ishan Gupta of Udacity India, please. And Anurag of Visit. Did I miss somebody by any chance? Okay, good. Please, thanks. So I guess this time is for the media to ask any questions. So we have mics in the audience. I hope we have some mics for the media. So if anybody has any question from the media, please identify yourselves, your name, your publication, and ask any of us a question that you have relevant to what we talked about today. We'd be more than happy to talk about that. Thank you. So just use the mic to identify your name and publication.
My name is Rekha Dikshit, and I work with a magazine called The Week. I write on science and technology from a magazine. Recently, the Survey of India declassified certain maps, and out of the 5,000 or so maps that they have, they were only able to declassify, I think, half of them. The others, they say so many of them, relate to areas of security and, boundary issues which cannot be put in the public domain. Now, my question is twofold. One is, how do you resolve issues of the law? I believe the Survey of India is the only organization which is, legally allowed to make maps of India. So how does a private player work with that? I'm sure it's all above board if you've been around for so long. The other question is, how do you resolve these security issues, and what is the resolution of your maps? So there are three questions.
Do you want to take that, Mr. Verma? Sure.
I've been dealing with it for the last 20 years. It's very heartening to see that Survey of India has released that e-Nakshe. Is that, I think you're talking about that. That itself is a recognition of the government that maps need to become pretty much public. The question is, what maps they have released and what they have not released is another issue. And I would not like to get into that. But I was very happy the day my team was there when they released it. And government, the other part is security. Rohan talked a lot about our journey. We act with a sense of responsibility. We feel accountable. And that's where the passion and nationalism comes into the picture. We do take care of what is sensitive and what is not sensitive. In the government world, they use a jargon or a word called VAVP, vulnerable assets and vulnerable places. They don't want those places to be depicted on the map. Now, if I ask all of you who are, I'm assuming, are Indians, would you not understand what is a vulnerable asset and what is a vulnerable place? I think common sense tells us that. So if you follow those, I guess for the last 20 years, Government of India, we have gotten enough encouragement and we are participating in many of their projects. It's not fair for me to talk about the different ministries where we have supplied our digital map data product. So I don't see that as an issue.
Any next questions by somebody?
Anand from India Tech Online, Bangalore. It was thrilling to listen to the narration of all the initiatives that Rohan was sharing with us this morning. And almost all of them, or many of them, can be experienced on a mobile phone, which is the primary vehicle for all of us here. Now, I am keen to know when the company which makes the operating system of 90% or 80% of the phones itself rolls out a free map which comes by default. How does a company like Map My India find its own space so that people get to experience what you're doing rather than saying, oh, Phukat mein kuch milta hai, we'll carry on with that. No matter whether it is even comparable or goes to the depth of what you are doing. Because we are lazy people. We go with what's available. And how do you motivate people to go the extra mile, the meter if not the mile, and make use of something which doesn't, it's not thrown in free?
You know, it's a deeply personal question, and I've spent all of my adult life, since I was 18, looking at the portal of the big giant, right? And trying to figure out, why do people like a good enough solution? Just because it's available, just because it's free. Indians are really easygoing. We like things that are good enough. We are very adjusting. People can come and conquer us. People can come and take over us, colonize us. People can give us third-rate solutions. But just because it's free and it's available and it appears convenient, and because we are very adjusting as a society, we accept the good enough. And well, we think differently. We think it's not good enough to be good enough. It's better to be better. It's not us, it's the English language that tells you that. So what MapMania has focused in the last 25 years, and we've succeeded dramatically. In the last 10 years, our company has grown 40% year on year. In our 25-year history, we have never had an unprofitable year. We have a healthy double-digit PAT. In the next few years, we will touch 1,000 crore turnover with a 30% PAT. If you look at the multiples on that, and 2 years ago we were valued at $250 million. 2 years ago, and we've grown 80% on every metric since then, despite there being 6-7 years of these existential threats, as people put it. So something we're doing is right, but what is that something? Well, first of all, we've built the best map data of India. It is professionally created, not user-generated. The second is we have offered a whole slew of solutions on top of that, from not just navigation to tracking to analytics and IoT devices and sensors and software as a service and different types of apps or different types of features. And we do bespoke solutions specific to customers. We customize. So we're very customer responsive. So in those different ways, we've differentiated ourselves. But having said that, let me acknowledge 2 or 3 things that we've decided to do differently in the last few years. 2004, we took a conscious call to make mapmeindia.com always free. I mean, the idea was that consumers should not have to pay for maps, and they don't. The map app that we talked about, the Hey Map Assistant, it's all free on the web or the mobile. eLock is free for anybody to use. So we don't see free as a barrier to MapMindia's adoption. The second part is a bit tricky, and you'll understand this because you're learned, you've written so well on technology. Always MapMindia's enterprise solutions and API stack was paid. Since 2004, companies like Make My Trip, Magic Bricks, Hyundai, all of them used to get powered by MapMindia, and they used to pay us money for that. That's why we've grown. 2 years ago, we took a conscious call to move to freemium in our enterprise solutions. We realized that it's not just the map app. The fact is the platform was free from these big giants. And we said, why don't we also make our platform freely available to developers, to businesses, to experience a better solution? And believe me, enterprises and developers are very finicky. They actually go into the rational decision-making around which is better. And when they try MapMyIndia, they switch away from the others. And you see the biggest companies, be it an OLX, an Avis, an Idea, all of them, a Flipkart, an Amazon, all of them have graduated, an Ola, an Uber, a State Bank of India, all of them either never used the other solution or they graduated to using MapMyIndia when it was time to need it for business. So I hope that helps you understand. Yeah. Any other questions does anybody have? If any closing remarks, oh sorry, there's somebody who has a question, sorry.
Hi Rohan. This is Trilok. I am a delegate.
From? Sorry.
Neural Pathways LLP.
I couldn't hear you. Can you repeat? You are from?
A delegate. Delegate.
Delegate. Oh, sorry. You are a delegate. Okay, not the media.
Yeah. So my question is that technology is ever changing. Currently, if you know that IPv4 system got exhausted and we had to shift to IPv6. So how you would cater for this e-lock?
This is a wonderful question. Good. I don't know why we didn't mention it. So we thought about this. We thought about IPv4, IPv6. We did a bunch of permutation combination. And 6 characters is quite interesting. 6 alphanumeric characters for e-lock. Actually, if you do the math, A to Z, 0 to 9, case insensitive. There are 36 character options per character, right? So this is 36 to the power of 6. There are 218 crore e-locks that can be generated. 6 characters is also interesting because most of the postal systems around the world, in India and UK specifically, are also 6 characters. Now, India has a population of 125 crores. So we estimate roughly that there are 20 million, 25 crore households, properties, establishments, habitation, flats. So we think that 218 crores is sufficient to address every address in India in a shortest manner. Let's keep delegate questions for the whole day. If there's any other media questions, we'd love to hear from you. If not, are there any other media questions? If not, are there any media questions? You're from the media? Okay, please, thank you.
Hi, Rohan. Gyan this side from Teleanalysis. My question is about this autonomous car that you talked about, the driverless cars. I still fail to understand what practical purpose does a autonomous car or driverless car exactly solves. Do we really need an autonomous car at the first place?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. We don't need technology for technology's sake, for sure. And I'll answer something and then I'll ask Ishan also to answer because they're the self-driving technology experts in terms of education. And that's actually why we didn't talk about this hype the same way everybody else has been talking. We're talking about super safe, self-driving cars and smart cities and smart infrastructure. That's what we're talking about. Now, you won't disagree that road accidents, car accidents, overspeeding is a big problem. And if we can address road safety, and you saw the motor vehicle bill being passed a few weeks ago, where there are big penalties on these kinds of misdemeanors. So, can we solve that problem? Can cars prevent accidents? If a driver is drowsy, if a driver is sleepy, and you saw these Ola and Uber drivers who are pushed to the limit because of their incentives, get drowsy, the car needs to take over in case the driver is not responsive. The car needs to know in advance. See, our vision is only till the road horizon, but what beyond? And we cannot, we don't have a reaction time the same way a computer can. So there are practical benefits of autonomous cars when it comes to safety. This is something important to understand, and that's what we talked about, this whole area of ADAS. The second is around traffic and traffic management. You're not going to disagree that traffic is a big problem in India. And it's because people don't follow rules. Well, computers will follow the rule you tell them, you code them in. So they will follow the rules, so everybody will stay in a lane. And if computers are orchestrated, these self-driving cars are talking to each other through our telematics, well, they will stay in a lane, and that will, because we believe that the road volume in India is sufficient to be for all the vehicles on the road or all the people that need to move. But it's these inefficiencies in the supply chain which get removed. Not just traffic is not a time issue, it's a money issue. It's a big drag on the economy. And we believe if vehicles, commercial vehicles, two-wheelers for e-commerce can be powered by autonomous technologies, not just will they make them safe, and there's a huge cost to that. So cost of insurance will go down, cost to you as a consumer for the car and for your deliveries will go down, and also time and money will be reduced in physical transportation. So there's a big reason why self-driving cars are necessary, but I totally agree with you that we need to do it very differently than how some of the innovators in the West are looking at it, because I really believe that they're looking at technology for technology's sake. I'll let Ishan answer
No, I think great question, and you captured the essence of why something like this makes sense. I think if you step back, it's also like asking autopilot versus human pilot, right? It doesn't eliminate the human pilot. There's an autopilot. Similarly, you have a self-driving car, you still have a guy sitting in the car, right? How will it work for India? I think time will tell. It's still early to tell about it. At least at Udacity, the idea is not to prescribe that this is the only way you can drive a car or you can code a car, right? The idea is to train people in a technology which will be used in car automation, but more generally in robotics overall. I mean, self-driving car is a very, very specific case of robotics and an advanced case of robotics as of today. So for us, it is not that we're prescribing that this is the way it was developed in Mountain View, California, and this is how it should run in India. The idea is if people can understand what is control, what is sensor fusion, vehicle kinematics, stuff like deep learning and computer vision as and when applied to robotics and car automation, I think that is relevant things to learn. And then companies like MapMyIndia will use those people and technologists in the way that they want to solve the problems for India.
Great, thanks. So I think I'd love to ask our partners to give some closing remarks. So Rajat, if you can start and just summarize the press conference from.
Well, thank you very much, Rohan. I think this has been a phenomenal learning experience. I mean, all these stacks, literally stacking one on top of the other. And at the end of the day, try and create solutions which will benefit society, will benefit the people of India. I think it was an interesting question which was asked when you have one giant which has a free service, how do you monetize your service? I think the eventual solution will be if the person finds value in it. If it's free and it's just something which everybody can get, nobody's going to be interested in it really. There has to be some value, and all the stacks that I've heard about today have been adding value, and that is what's going to make the difference between their solution and anybody else's. So Rohan, I wish you success, and the partnership, may it flourish.
Thank you so much, sir. Arvind, would you like to say some closing remarks?
Yeah, first of all, congratulations to MapMyIndia and the entire MapMyIndia team. I have known this team for almost 7-8 years now, but looking at the vision and really solving the deep-rooted problem for India and an Indian company doing that with partnership with other Indian companies, that is extremely heartening for me to know. Thank you.
Hey, Isha?
I think it's just exciting to see all the work that you guys are doing. I think all of us should go home and make our e-logs if we haven't already done so.
Great.
And promote them prominently on part of our visiting cards or wherever else that we use our location. So best of luck, and I'm really hoping that, from our perspective, as you see some of these graduates coming out, they can actually contribute to the organization, and that would be the most fulfilling thing for us, if the guys can actually help you prepare for solve the future problems.
Aman?
I'd like to wish good luck to MapMyIndia, and I've known MapMyIndia for a long time now, but it's great to see all the new things that they're doing, and good luck.
Anurag from Visit.
Thanks, Rohan. So I would like to say that it's a spectacular work that you guys are putting together, and MapMyIndia for a startup like us. So we are a young technology startup. MapMyIndia is an investor in us. MapMyIndia acts as a role model, or we derive a lot of inspiration from them, the entire team. And, specifically about solving problems the India way, right? So we are, the thing that Rohan said, we are not like the West, we are not like East, we are India. So MapMyIndia has been helping us in solving these problems, and they've been helping a lot of partners, and that's great. So do try out the Visit app, refer it to your friends and family. Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. We'd love to call a close to this press conference. I think the MC will take over for the next steps. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, hello. Hi, Rohan. I want to say something, if you have some time. I'm representing a community of people with disabilities here.
Yeah,
and,
okay.
Yeah, so I'm very interested to know, the work that you're doing is fabulous.
Yeah.
But I'm really interested to know whether you are working on actually making it accessible for all.
This is a fabulous question, and you won't believe, but the AppMy India app winner, which you will get to see in Culture Gully, is actually all about making maps accessible to people who are deaf and blind and dumb also possibly. It's incredible. It's called Feel Safe Maps. It's an app built on MapMindia's stack. It uses Braille, not just Braille, it taps you in Braille. I mean, it's incredible how maps can be used, not just, I mean, we're serious about our motivation. We've given them a bunch of money, a bunch of credits to take that app to the next door. You should check it out in Culture Gully. We really are running late. I want to thank you all, everybody. We can take a photograph, and everybody, MC, please take it forward.
Ladies and gentlemen, many thanks for your patience. And as the photographs are being taken, I would invite you to join us for lunch in the Culture Gully. Also around the lunch area is our experience zone, which is fabulous. There are many stalls from MapMy India with the innovations we are undertaking and stalls of our partners. Please do spend some time while you're lunching at the stalls and give us some feedback. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? We request you be back for the main session in the afternoon at 2:15 p.m. Thank you.